What is one gift that a talented writer can give his devoted fans? Well, more writing. And actually, a gentleman has done just that. Carlos Ruiz Zafon passed away June 2020, but behind he left a series of short stories in his final collection for all of his adoring legions of fans. Hi everyone, it's Rebecca, and today we're going to be talking about The City of Mist. It's my second NetGalley review and another 5-star. So it's with a really sad heart that I'm actually giving this review, because this book would have never been published had we not lost Carlos Ruiz Zafon, who is the writer behind The Cemetery of Forgotten Books, which, as I mentioned only less than a couple weeks ago, I was thirsty for more of his writing. Following his death, they've now published a series, or not series, but a short story collection. And he wrote these knowing he was ill, and for all of the people who've been following him for so long. Now, I am not a short story lover. I have had so many chances and opportunities, and I just don't seem to get into them. Even whenever I've tried short stories that were mysteries, you would think something I'd be easily to get into. But this felt really different. This felt like a returning home. The minute I started reading again what he is writing, I got so wrapped up in it. Now, he does deal with some very familiar kind of ideas that you would have found in Shadow of the Wind. And once I was done reading this, I went out and looked at some reviews, and people were saying that some of the characters reappear from his books. He still deals all in Barcelona, and you can just feel his love for this city, almost like a mourning of it, because Spain and Barcelona really went through quite a few really difficult years, and he sets his books during those times. You can almost feel his heart breaking as he's writing these odes to Barcelona. The whole time I was reading it, I just saw everything in sepia and gray tones or shades of gray, a lot of fog and mist, exactly what the title says, City of Mist. And this cover, I mean, come on, just encourages that. And that's exactly what you felt whenever you read Shadow of the Wind. Now, I will say this, these are some hard-hitting short stories. Wow. It's not for the faint of heart. There's one or two that I was like, there was no punches pulled, desolate. The characters, this is not a feel-good set of short stories. It's far from that. We get to feel their anguish and anxiety and trepidations and, their meager feelings for hope in some cases. There is a lot of deals with the devil type books in this. And I have to say, though, I still really enjoyed them. I was amazed that I could enjoy these. I was trying to explain it to my husband, and he's like, wow, you're reading some dark stuff. And I thought, for me, yeah. But there's something about how he writes. There's something about his wordsmithing that is just amazing. Do I say start with these? I don't think you would start with his short story collection. I think, and even just tipping your toe into it, I don't know. I think because the settings felt familiar, not necessarily the characters, but the settings, and I know that's where he's going to take us to these incredible feeling moments. Usually with short stories, my problem is I can't figure out characters quick enough, or setting, or story, or plot, and all of these felt like almost miniature full novels. I mean, I felt very satisfied. However, saying that, I also kind of flipped and was like, but I want to know more. I want to know what happened before and after, and to this character or that character. So it kind of doesn't make sense when I say this. But what it really kind of, I think in a way, made me realize is that it kind of felt like he was doing book proposals. So any one of these, or this whole series, I think could have been turned into yet another series like the Cemetery of Forgotten Books. It could have been added on to the series of Forgotten Books, Cemetery of Forgotten Books series. It could have been standalones. He could have combined multiple stories, and then we would have gotten a longer novel. He could have taken any one of those brief little stories and probably blown them into full novels. But yet I didn't feel cheated when I read them. Sometimes it was abrupt, and when I got done, I sat back and really had to think about what it was I just read. I had to kind of give myself time to adjust, take a breath. I definitely didn't feel like these were ones that were written to be read one right after the other, almost a daily read. You could read one a day. I did say in my blog post that, they'd be perfect for before bedtime, but a couple of them are quite scary and depressing. So if what you read before you go to bed actually gives you has any influence on your dreams, maybe this is more of an afternoon kind of thing to do. But I do encourage you that if you have read any of his stuff and you like it, this is definitely a treat. It is not the same as sitting for hours and just enveloping into a world and time and space. Definitely not, as some of his other writings are. But if you want the beauty, you want to revisit, if you feel like you can remember, and it's funny because I think the minute I started reading the very first book, the first story, it just instantly put me back into the Shadow of the Wind, and I was happy about that. What this has told me, though, is I really need to get out there and read the rest. But also what it's told me is that there's not going to be any more. And, even though this is an amazing gift and we're seeing all this, there's a sadness, because I think that any of these could have been made into amazing stories. And what it shows me is that while we get this final gift, we also get a reminder of the stories that won't be told, that he had so much more in him. And for that's sad. That saddens me.